When it comes to the viewing choices of the younger generation, the government plays a pivotal role, particularly in the realms of regulation and policy development. This involvement is crucial in providing guidance to both content consumers and broadcasters, fostering a responsible and well-regulated media environment. Children that spend a lot of time before screens develop poor self-image and body image issues, have challenges fitting in with people as they pick up unfamiliar lifestyles they watch. But have you ever asked yourself the influence of digitalization on children or the escalating media gadgets? These devices include televisions, desktop monitors, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. The after effects of the use of digital devices do not only rotate around health complications, but also moral decay. We had the privilege to interact with Honorable Rachel Magola, the woman member of parliament representing Bugweri district, who first took us back in her life where she was raised with good values.
When I was growing up, what my mother and my father said was gospel truth. What they taught me, because they always want good for their children, was gospel truth. So we grew up guided by our families. What our Senga taught you was gospel truth. And we had good families. But with the onslaught of digital platforms in every home, you find that children are now being guided by the world. And not what everything that comes out of the world is what is good for them. You see children disrespecting their parents because they are watching dramas which are showing disrespect to your parents. We see children trying to behave, to drink, to smoke, things which are dangerous to them because they see it on TV, they see it on phones as something which is cool to do. So a lot has changed, and it is to the parents, the teachers, the people who are older to guide our children on content which is going to teach them what values they must exhibit when they're in public, when they're in church, when they're at home as families. We see people, advertisements that are promoting virility. A 4-year-old watching, people saying, I need my manhood. That was unheard of. Today, children are being exposed to such. And you find children going out saying, we want to take a picture. That is not right.
Also doubling as the chairperson Parliamentary Forum for Creative Industries, Rachel Magola says it is at this moment that all concerned stakeholders should come out to unite if the future generation is to be preserved.
The digital era is here. It's well and alive. And we know very well that what we see on social media, on television, on our phones, on our laptops, from Google, everything we see, we tend to believe. So we find that children are watching content which is not appropriate for their ages, and yet what they see shapes their mindset on how they will behave. We as parents, as policymakers, as social media content makers, as artists who create content for children to listen to, we need to come together and think about the future of our country.
She poses a serious question to parents on what their children do watch majorly when they are not around to regulate and monitor the content.
We need to wake up. Parents out there, teachers out there, what are your children watching? What are you allowing the maids to play on TV when your children are present? This is a wake-up call for all of us. You see children dancing in ways that embarrass you as a parent, but sometimes you'll be surprised. They'll be clapping for it. And you're like, what happened to our values? What happened to the things we need to do in front of our bako? You will find girls or boys behaving in ways that embarrass our singers when they are present. All this is coming from the digital platforms that we have left run loose for our children to consume. I call upon you all. We need to think again and get guidance, parental control on what our children, our teenagers consume. Because if we don't do this, our value system is going down the drain.
According to Honorable Rachel, it is very important for parents to be able to control what the children watch. She says this as most parents leave children to be on screens alone and for a long time, thus being groomed by the screens.
My dear parents out there, you need to know what your children are watching. There are provisions for parental guidance. If a film is rated R, switch it off immediately. Get videos, get DVDs, and make sure that what your children see is what you can control. Do not leave your children in front of televisions to become your babysitters, because then you end up with a child you don't recognize, because all they know is what they are seeing on TV. That is not raising a child. And children who are controlled by digital do not have emotions. They don't know how to relate to you because they know how to relate with the cartoon they see every day. So we have work to do.
She appeals to fellow countrymen and women to always be mindful about the kinds of channels they tune into, giving an example of Church of Uganda Family TV that airs clean content, safe for all eyes.
We know that we have TV stations in this country that only air programs that are appropriate for our faith as religious people, for our culture as Ugandans. A TV like Family TV. Let your children watch programs that you are sure they are going to build them, their character, the way they relate to people. Watch out for those televisions that produce content which is not good for your children. The choice is yours.
According to research conducted by MOFCO, a communications watchdog, a third of social media users aged between 8 to 17 have signed up with false adult age. However, the research suggests that parents' intervention can help to monitor their child's digital screen use by checking their accounts regularly or installing software that can monitor whatever they watch or access via smart screens, tablets, and other digital screens. Since this might intrude one's privacy, here policymakers come in to create policies for regulators to implement. This is Screen Time Series. Join us as we save the young eye.